Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I got another review for you. Um, from DC Comics, this is Detective Comics 1045. It is written by Mariko Tamaki. Art is Dan Mora. We got colors is by Jordie Bellaire, and letters is by Aditya Bidikar. Sorry if I mispronounced any of those names. There's no disrespect. This guy's just bad with names. At the end of this review, I will show you all some of the art. I will showcase some of it. So this is a Fear State tie-in, but technically it goes back a week before all the Fear State mess kind of went down. It is tying up some loose ends, even to the point where I forgot that we were still doing this. Technically in the run of everything, I mean, we just got the last issue in Fear State, which was Fear State Omega. So I mean, they did have a couple other loose ends, so this is kind of tying up one of them, but it's about Vile. And Vile had appeared right before the whole Fear State. He was working for Mariko, and then he got outed by Batman during the whole Mr. Worth run right before all this. And kind of recently in Batman Detective Comics, through it was like King Nero 19, he was trying to infiltrate the mayor's office and kidnap him, and eventually it led to some other action-packed stuff where both Batman and Mayor Naiko went underground into the sewers, and they even fell caverns below those sewers. It was like Mr. Worth and a rocket launcher and stuff like that. So in the very last issue that we were reading with Detective Comics, Naiko was he's being taken over by the vile parasite that we saw was still kind of regesting down in the caverns below Arkham, that kind of thing. My kitty. So the very last issue, it kind of made it look like Mayor Naiko was dying or whatever. We have found out that that Batman was able to save him. He basically used these electric shock gauntlets. So that's kind of where we're picking up in this one, and it just starts out right there with, Mayor Naiko kind of like thanking Batman, but at the same time, it's this long, drawn-out conversation on the explanation on what's going on, what Vile is, what Batman knows about Vile, and then even stating that it's not just him and his word. The reporter Deborah Donovan, I think is her name. She was one of the people that got infected by the Vile infection. But not only that, we had the Huntress that got infected by it too, that kind of thing. So it is this conversation with Naiko trying to get filled in, and then he's kind of insulting Batman, saying how come you didn't make me aware of this and kind of thing, and Batman just stating bro, you've been against what I've been doing with Gotham and stuff like that ever since you came into Mayor. You hopped right on Simon Saint's thing, and currently at this point, Mayor Naiko doesn't know the whole plot with Simon Saint hasn't got that far yet with the Peacemaker program and all that. So a lot of it, it does flip over to these regular people that are up on the streets in Gotham, when we are seeing that the vile eggs are starting to just stay, out onto the streets in Gotham. They kind of cut back over because at this point, Batman does kind of get in contact with the Oracle above ground. He gets some reception, and he's able to tell her hey, we need to watch the streets, that we got this infection spreading kind of thing. So we do see some of the Batman family starting to go check things out and stuff like that. They show Batwoman and some other characters keeping people safe from this infection and stuff like that. The rest of the book is basically Mayor Naiko and Batman trying to escape the sewers while trying to get away from this Vile stuff. We do see that there's this that Batman even mentions that the Vile is in this earlier gestation stage, like a larva, and that there possibly could be another a more adolescent version of it running around in the caverns. And we do see a lot of scenes where something is following them, and they kind of show you that it's big and stuff like that. But there's a basic conversation about trust with Mayor Naiko and Batman and this and that. Batman kind of outs him as far as you know, like, well, I would have told you this and this and this if you weren't trying to shoot me every time you ran into me and stuff. He was like, I understand you have this thing going with the vigilantes, but at the same time, it's not helping anybody because I'm ultimately here to help Gotham, kind of thing. He was like, I don't take it personal. It's not person to person. I'm here to protect the city, and that's what Batman's about, you know. And eventually, through it all, you kind of see that Batman is kind of like getting to Mayor Naiko. Maybe he didn't notice like all this stuff that was going on, but right under his nose, we had Mr. Worth, we had Vile, we had this King Nero, the 19th. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that, I mean, Simon Saint eventually, but that had just been right there, you know, in front of the mayor's face. So the book finally like moves forward, and Batman and Mayor Naiko finally do get out of the sewers. As soon as they do, like, Batman gets like, you know, attacked by this adolescent form of the vile creature, and at this point it's like a flip of the coin where, you know, Mayor Naiko goes to Batman to save him and stuff, and Mayor Naiko even doing that, you know, stand-up-ish thing, oh, you know, I saved you, you know, now, you know, and it kind of jumps back to like a lot of the it jumps back over to like Batwoman saving the people that she was trying to protect, and some of the other Bat family trying to protect, because now this thing is kind of like, I guess it's following Batman and it's popping out all over the city, kind of thing. But eventually we see that Nightwing has taken over like a Peacemaker or a Simon Saint kind of drone type thing, and he eventually zaps, like destroys the thing that was attacking Batman, because Mayor Naiko does stun him or whatever, but this thing does come back to life, and he starts, you know, moving towards other people, and Nightwing just kind of like obliterates it with electricity. The very end of the book, it just kind of jumps forward. It shows some scenes where it's like it puts Batman and Mayor Naiko in some like better light as far as the press is concerned, but then it jumps over to like, you know, this scene with Mayor Naiko, and he's talking to some of his like, you know, people that work for him, kind of thing, some of his cabinet or something like that, because he is the mayor. And he's basically, they kind of gives like these hints that he's going to be working with Batman a little, you know, closer or than he has been. You know, maybe his mission has not been, you know, for the best, kind of thing. But hey, that's my review. That's pretty much where the comic leaves off. The art always is stellar. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I've enjoyed both Batman Detective, you know, Detective Comics and regular Batman line, but this whole Fear State for me has been rather enjoyable. I like the whole, you know, Vile arc. I like the whole Mr. Worth arc before that, but I'm just going to show you some like random art. Most of this book, it's going to be like this, where it's Batman and Naiko stuck in the caverns. This is that, you know, the parasite infection. That's kind of like the like larva form, but this right here, the whole background is supposed to be like the adolescent version of it. Let me show you some cool stuff with Vile, because technically I think he's dead at the moment, but it looks like he is currently resurrecting, kind of thing. But I mean, this art has just been stellar this whole run. I think it's been, I want to say like 22 issues this guy has been doing the art for, and he has killed it in every issue. I think there has been some breaks in there here and there, but for the most part, yeah, it's pretty stellar. I'm going to show you just the kind of the end scene right there. Focus. It won't focus. Being all complicated. There we go. Like, hey, Batman, maybe. Okay, guys, I'll see y'all later. You have a good one. Bye.